Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, hopefully you've watched my video on how to take the tank off of the Yamaha Virago here. If not, go check that out. And what I'm doing is I'm going to start cleaning this tank out. It's been sitting for probably close to 5 years. Unfortunately, when I put it away, I did put it away with some fuel stabilizer and that kind of stuff in it, but it's not meant, fuel stabilizer is not meant to keep gas that long. And with me, when I hurt my leg, I actually put this away because the fork seals on it started leaking. So keep an eye out for that video if I can get this bike running, and probably several other videos of getting this bike running. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning this up. As you might or might not be able to see, there's a lot of crusty stuff on here. And I'm sure there's a lot more inside down in the tank down there. And I'm going to start by pulling this off and cleaning it up. Upside down here. I got it over a bucket, so if anything leaks, it leaks onto the bucket here. And I'm assuming this is like a sending unit. It's got a plug in on the other end here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off because I figure the more places I can get into this tank and scrub it out and get it into it, the better. I don't know how well these will come out, and I'm assuming not very well. I'm going to get a bigger screwdriver and got those out. I had to do a little wrapping action on it. I did a video on that, so you can go check out how I got this off of here without stripping screws. So I got the screws out of here. There's also down in here a little metal thing that's holding the wire that's hooked to it in. Just bend that up slightly. You don't need to do a whole lot, just enough to get that out, otherwise that could break. And that seems to be in there pretty good. Actually just kind of wrap it a little bit. Be real careful because this looks like it's kind of a cast aluminum probably piece. Honestly, don't know if it's gonna come out. Well, I've been in there since day one, so, and I don't want to break it. So if it doesn't come out fairly easy, I'm probably gonna not do it. Whacking on it that hard. Like I said, this bike needs a paint job. There we go. Anyway, so I'm not really too worried about the paint, although I'm being as careful as I can. Alright, and there it is. I may need to see if I can get new gaskets. We'll see this. Yeah, it's pretty flattened, so it's got kind of an O-ring down here. I may need to see if I can get a new one of those now so we don't have any leaking problems. But I definitely am going to have to clean this up. It looks pretty nasty. There's also another little thing holding the wire in down here. Pry that up just enough to get the wire out. Here we are inside the tank here, and I can kind of barely get you a little bit of the nasty rust that's inside of there. There is quite a bit. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and I've looked around YouTube and I've seen a lot of different things, from throwing nuts and bolts in and washing it to with hot soapy water and using different chemicals and acids. There's kits you can buy for cleaning them out and sealing them, and I think I've come up with a few different things I'm going to do to hopefully make this work and try not to use too many harsh chemicals on it. Just old crap like this in a drawer once in a while comes in handy for plugging holes. I found kind of a grommet here, and I put the screws in that are original. And then I actually took a hose and hose clamped. I don't know if you can see that. There was 2 nipples sticking up here. I just put those together, hose clamped those, and then I had this little thing. I don't even know what it is, but it's stuck right down in the hole here. And then I'm going to go ahead and, like, this and this I'm sure is going to leak a little bit, so I'm going to duct tape all that up really good best I can. And I got the duct tape on. Now I went ahead and pulled the screws out because I was having trouble getting the duct tape to seal around it, so I pulled those screws out, duct taped over everything, punched the holes, and went ahead and screwed the screws back in and put some more duct tape over that. Hopefully that'll hold it. Over here I just put duct tape around this over the top of that, whatever it was I put in the hole there. So hopefully that'll hold it. And quite honestly, as you can see kind of to the side over here, I'm just going to use that Super Clean. They don't pay me anything, but this stuff a little bit goes a long way, and it works awesome for just about every cleaning thing I've ever done. And it's cheap. You can buy it at Walmart, or I don't know where else you can get it. I get it at Walmart and it's cheap. But anyhow, I'm going to take that and I'm going to take hot water, and I'm going to fill this tank up, or at least fill it up a little ways, shake it around, rinse it out, and then I'll probably fill it up, let it sit for a while, and rinse it out again. And then I got more to do. This is not going to be a short project here, so I won't be able to show you every little detail, but it'll give you a pretty good idea. To show you, I just went ahead and put the cap back on here. Alright, well, I don't know if you can see that. That's after the just soap and water, the Super Clean and water. And although it's not good, yeah, there's a little bit of tank down there you can see rather than rust. I don't know, we'll have to see how different it is. Didn't get real great on the edges still. So I'll do the leaking a little bit still. So what I went and did is went in my local Ace Hardware store, where they have big bins of things that if you're looking for something, that's a good place to go look. And I found these plugs. They had a bunch of these rubber ones, but unfortunately none were small enough for the two back there, but they did have some smaller cork ones. So I went ahead and got those, and I plugged those up. So far I have not found anything better than what I have for this one. So right now I'm going to stick with that unless I come up with a better idea. Anyhow, thought I'd just show that to you. I'm going to go ahead and duct tape those up still. Here's my next step. There's ice in here. Now, I've seen lots of things saying use nuts, bolts, screws, whatever. But quite honestly, I've been having a heck of a time just trying to get the water out of here. I can't imagine trying to get a bunch of nuts and bolts and screws out of here. So what I'm going to do is dump a bunch of this ice in there and shake it up and try and knock some of that loose. I saw this on, I don't know, some internet thing that I read, so I thought I'd give it a try. Alright, well, hopefully you can see this. You can tell I just did the ice jiggling and got that out. And then I went through again with hot water and the Super Clean. And as you can see, even around the edges here, the rust is really starting to go away. I mean, a lot of this I could reach down there and probably almost wipe out. So my plan was to do a apple cider vinegar on this, but honestly, I don't know if I want to take that step yet. Alright, well, my plan really was to take the apple cider vinegar and fill that tank up with apple cider vinegar to get rid of the rust. But quite honestly, between the Super Clean and water mix and the ice and flushing it out a few times with that Super Clean and hot water, I'm actually very happy with where the rust is on there. There is still some, but it's not horrible. And I'm afraid if I do the vinegar here that, from what I noticed about it, you end up having the flash rust come back and you're having to stay on top of it a little bit more. And right now I believe there's still some coating in there that keeps it from rusting. So I'm not going to do that. Although some of these parts here I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit better with the vinegar. And then I'm going to put some of this Mystery Marvel oil inside the tank and slosh that around, and that you can put right in your gas and run it through even, and this should stop it from corroding until I get some gas in there and get the tank back on and I'm ready to ride it. So that is my unit here, and I got some vinegar in here, the apple cider vinegar, and I had it soaking in there a little bit. I'm hoping it didn't hurt any of this stuff, but it was so corroded and nasty that I'm sure if it wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to work. Decided to come off of here, so I'm going to let this dry out really good, try and resolder that on, and hopefully it'll work. I'm going to go ahead and kind of grind that down a little bit and resolder it. Some of that Mystery Marvel oil in here, and I am just kind of going around in circles here and trying to coat as much of this tank with that oil as I can, and that hopefully should keep it from rusting to an extent. I'll go ahead and close it up. I'll duct tape all the holes up so that the least amount of air can get in here, because air is what causes the corrosion. So I figure that in here I can load it up with some premium gas the next time I put gas in it, and some stabilizer. I'll probably use Seafoam. I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to clean out the reserve tank as well, and check through the hoses and probably mess with the carburetor some. So keep an eye out for those videos, and when I get this thing more back together, you'll see more. At the end of the video, obviously I have quite a bit more stuff to do on this. I'm also going to do the same thing you just saw on the reserve tank down here, because I need to check it out. I'm sure it's full of bad gas as well, and I'm going to have to go down through and kind of check the lines and the carburetors and all that at some point as well. So anyhow, go check out all my videos on this. I got a whole bunch more videos, so go check out my channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Alright, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master None. Y'all have a good one.